Power Monday, and we meet every Monday. Our main mandate at Power Monday is just to bring up leaders. And we believe that all of us, everyone is a leader at their own capacity, because you have to lead yourself first before you go and lead other people out there in the world. Your Jerusalem is yourself, and then you go to your family, blah, 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 and then you go out there. So Dr. Lucita, are you around?
Okay. So my today's poem, I got the inspiration from the story of Japheth in the Bible. It was the illegitimate son. In the layman's language, or in the language that you would like to say, he was a bastard. Or rather, in my community, it's a very bad name. So I gave it a title: Illegitimacy to Man is Legitimacy to God. So this was the son of another woman, yet just like you, a human being. He grew up maybe as a vegetarian. Later, true, he became a real veteran. He uses his pen under the clock in a pen. He chuckles and cries in a run, and maybe ends up entertaining men. He veers through pain with no much gain. He tries again and again, but all seemed in vain. He holds up his confidence with a gun. With a desire to shine, he uses his brain. He built up a shelter from the rain. He might have nurtured music, alternates with comic. He might have excelled in academic, or maybe a trained psychic. He becomes intimate, a factual gene that is so legitimate, but in God's word, he does meditate. He achieves more than what you can describe a beauty. That is the son of another woman. He might have clearly forgotten. He might have not been forgiven, but he was chosen by God. So you should know that illegitimacy to man is legitimacy to God. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Mara. I mean, you inspire us. Illegitimacy to man is legitimacy to whom? To God. God doesn't look at what you've gone through, or what circumstances you went through before you came on earth. I don't know, your mother was a prostitute or what. No, he doesn't look at that. You are legitimate to him. You are so legitimate to God. So today, I have the honors to introduce our very own Tenopol Peter, who is going to bring on the speaker of today. He is not the speaker, he is just bringing the speaker of today. Thank you, Tenopol Peter.
Well, thank you very much, Noel. Now, what we were discussing with Christine Imelif at the beginning, and even our topic for today is about compliance for MSMEs. And that leads me to two quotes by some other people. Yes, one says, control leads to compliance. Autonomy leads to engagement. Most times we are required to comply. But there is this other one, that's by Daniel H. Pink. Then there is this other one that is that says, that is to be ourselves causes us to be exiled by others, and yet to comply with what others want causes us to be exiled from ourselves. You see, to be ourselves causes us to be exiled by many others, and yet to comply with what others want causes us to be exiled from ourselves. That's from Carissa Pinkola. You see, So welcome, Mwende Startdust. I want to introduce our speaker today. Our speaker is called Mwende Stardust. Yes, Stardust, and and she is a legal practitioner and very interested in tech and innovation. There is she's got experience in that, and we were introduced to her through Dr. Melvin. I believe she will tell us more about herself. She has an organization called Lex Center LLP. That is a legal practice. She's experienced in regulations related to HR, contract automation, wills, and other things. And we are blessed to have her today. And we want to welcome her to share with us. This is a platform of both professionals who are in employment and those people who are in MSME world. And we come together every Monday just to share knowledge and empower people for a productive week, Mwende. So we are blessed to have you. Go ahead.
Hi, good morning, everyone. It's a lovely day.
Good morning. Good morning.
And
Good morning.
you're all looking bright today.
We are
So I'm
blessed.
here to...
You look gorgeous.
Thank you. So I'm hoping that today we'll share some information about legal compliance. I understand that some of us are in business like I am. So it's a day where we'll just be interacting. It's not a lecture. I don't know how to lecture people. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to hear from you as much as I will also be sharing a bit of what I know. And I like the forum already because I've seen you started with a word, some discussion, and then a word of prayer, and then a poem. It's been a while. I thought I was the only poet in the world. I meet.
Okay. We seem to be attracting more
I
and
come
more
here
poets.
and I meet up another poet, so it's lovely.
Great.
So yeah, so to start us off, I want us to do a short exercise. I hope you have a pen and paper. If you don't, please grab one, something to write on. And
Or
I
a
want
keyboard.
us to, yeah?
Or a keyboard.
Something, yes. Or a keyboard, somewhere you can take notes. And I just want you to think of, I know you've already set your goals for the year, as whether you're employed or you're an SME, whatever you're doing, I know you've already set your goals. That's the thing we do in January. So I want you to take 1 minute to just recall your goals for the year. Write 3 of them, career-wise, whatever. 3 goals you've set for yourself for this year. So assuming it's 13th March 2024, 3 things you've set to have achieved by then. So just take 1 minute to write that down. And if you don't mind, you could be sharing with us on the chat. So I know some are private, but if you can share, please post on the chat. We'd love to hear the kind of things you've set for yourself.
So I'm asking for those who who are working on their 2020 goals, because they set them in 2019 and they didn't happen. So they pushed them forward to 2020. So they're trying to do that.
I am speaking to those ones as well. If your goals were carried from 2017 and they're yet to come true, put them down if you want to achieve them in the next 1 year. So I hope we are done with that for the year. Now I want you to bring it back to what I want to achieve this week, Monday to Friday. We are not even going over to Saturday. We are not we are not that serious. We don't work on Saturdays and Sundays. So what have you just set your goals for the week? What do I want to do and what do I need to achieve this week, starting today? So here is where you set out, I want to go and meet this client. So list the clients you're going to see, or you have an interview, something important. So I'm going to the interview on this date, or I'm going to have a review with my boss. The things that are important to you for this week towards achieving your goals for the year. So you need 5 of this at least. And this could be, I intend to show up for work excited about the things I'm going to do. So everything that you want to achieve, just be, I want to enjoy my job this week. I want to make sales of, I need to bring 2 more clients to the business. I intend to sell all these products. So let's hear, just list that, let's hear it. And the answers are coming in. Go to the gym 4 times. Noel, wow, congratulations. Olale, complete and launch my memoir. Isn't it some work to write a book? So congratulations. You want to do commercial farming as well? Join the pulpit, wow. Bold, gutsy goals. Go, Olale. Noel, update my blog, yes. Start my first podcast, wow. It's always the first one that's the most difficult. So have we written our goals for the week? If you're ready, let me know. You have the things you prioritized for the week. Finish revamping my website. Live your dream. That's, I assume it's Peter. Congratulations. Write 5 articles. Wow, here comes the writer, Princess. Oh, Tieno Paul Peter. Wow. You had to take both names. It had to be Paul and Peter together. Nice name. So yes, I hope we have our priorities for the week. And the question for me is, we could set all the goals in the world. We could set intentions. Oh, Faith says she needs to coach 5 students. Congratulations. Our goals are good. The biggest question for me is, do you believe it's possible? So think about the sales you want to make this week, or the way you want to scale your business in the year, the way you want to bring in more clients, and I hope you have set a number to it. All these goals that you have, do you believe in your heart of hearts, in the deepest place of your soul, are they possible? We could say, oh, I want to write my book. But then deep down you're saying, ni ngumu, hata next year ni sawa tu nitaanza, you know. So are you giving yourself excuses? You can type in the chat and tell us, is there a place of, are you coming from a place of confidence? Or are you coming from a place of great courage? Think about it. So what I want us to do next is just to internalize and bless the things we are going to do. So I understand, I've had us pray, but this is more of teaching your mind to accept your success. Our biggest, you can work hard. We are hard workers. We are Kenyans. We know how to work hard. We are smart. But you know what keeps us behind is our mind does not accept that we can be successful. Ati umesema, you know, I need to make my first million by December. Your mind is like, ona uyu, ona iki. Those are the thoughts that go at the back end. And the back end is what makes everything possible. So just to start us off, and I'm doing this, I know this is not about compliance, but the reason I'm doing this is very important. You have to set the tone for your week. And because I happen to be the first person speaking to you when the week is beginning, I think this is how I bless the world. We have to bless our goals, actualize them in the mind, teach the mind that it's possible, and then we can get started with the week. So I'm going to ask us to take some 2 or 3 minutes to just calm down. Just slow down your mind. We're just getting started with the week. So take your time. We have written down the things we want to actualize for the year. They are big goals. They are audacious goals. But are they possible? And I know you believe in something. You believe in God. You believe in a creator. You believe in some other power that makes it possible. This power that is keeping you alive today, this moment, this power that is allowing you to dream, you know, it's not in vain. It's not you being crazy by dreaming. These dreams are coming from somewhere. And this place that the dreams are coming from believes in your power to do it. If you can imagine it, you can do it. And that's just the plain basic truth. So your dreams are not wild. You're not being crazy. And it's easy. The universe has always been conspiring to keep you alive, to bring you closer to your goals, because you can imagine the path you've come. You've been through dangerous situations, things that could have killed you, things that could have made you not be here, but you're here. It is not coincidence. It cannot be coincidence. So your goals are coming from a source that believes in your splendor and your glory. You're here for the glory. You're not here for the hard work. Hard work is just a tool. And you can have a more efficient tool in believing in your dreams. So what does your mind say? Are you coming from a place of confidence? Or are you coming from a place of doubt? And both are okay, because we have to start from somewhere. So pick your goals, put them in your heart. Just hold them within yourself and call on this power that you believe in. And don't say anything. I am just guiding you. Hold your dreams joyfully. Just imagine them coming true. Oh my God, that money. Oh my God. Can you read that bank statement? Oh my God, it's my name, it's my bank account. It has come to me and it came easily. It just took a connection to connect me to where the money was. Oh my God, I didn't realize it was this easy. That book, just hold it, leaf through the pages, black and white. Oh my God, it has that new dust of a new book. You know how a new book is dusty in a way and it has a fresh smell? Look at the pages. Are they smooth? Are they rough? Are they white, pure white? Are they creamy? What's the color? How heavy is that book? Look at it. Think of that blog and how regular it is and how visitors are coming. People even want to advertise in your blog. Look at all your dreams. Look at that business. You may be thinking, oh my God, it's been tough. It's been difficult. That's just your mind. You only need one connection, and this connection is not coming from outer space. It's just coming from the people you know, the people you love, the people you already have in your life. And you don't have to go looking. They will come to you. Can you believe it? Can you believe it can be that easy? Just hold that thought of, oh my God, it's possible. I can turn around that business in a month. In a month, I can be where I want to be. And the hard work is not necessary. I don't have to kill myself. I don't have to break relationships. I don't have to break ties with my children and my family working on this business. I don't have to break my back. No. I believe in a power that has created the beasts and the human and the flower and the tree. And if that power is so great, then what is my business? My business is something easy. So accept the ease for your business. Accept ease for your career. That, oh my God, doors are opening for you suddenly. You're thinking, where have these doors been? God, it's just happening so quickly, so fast. Hold that possibility that this door that you've been hoping for, don't even pray for the door to open. Imagine the door opening. If it's some client who's holding your money, just imagine them giving you your check. Don't pray that the check comes. Imagine the check is on your desk now. Look at it. It's signed. It has the correct amount. Oh my God. If you've been praying for a new client, stop praying. Don't pray for a client now. Imagine them walking through your door. Visualize them coming through your door. And they're happy, they're smiling, they're joyful. They're like, oh my God, I have been looking for a business like you to offer me this service. Oh my God. If it's a product you've been pushing, imagine a client coming in and taking it and loving the use of it. Imagine the product serving them day to day, day to day. If it's a professional service like accounting and law and any other service, imagine the client coming in and loving your service. Imagine 200 more coming through the same door until you have to find a bigger office. You're making so much more money. That goal is yours, and wherever it's coming from, hold it. See it coming through. Hold it in your mind. Is it coming through? Just see it coming through. If you're feeling unwell, imagine yourself jumping with joy at a party. You're not worried about your body anymore because you're always healthy. Forget about illness. You're just healthy. You're always full of sunshine and strength. So imagine that dream in your mind and then call this power. Feel the power. Don't even talk. Let your mind not talk. Let the power fill you. Let the power occupy you and your dream. You're holding your dream and the power is embracing you top to bottom. The power is embracing you top to bottom, top to bottom. It's a moment of love and ecstasy and joy. Your dreams have already come true. You're holding them because the power has made it possible. Hold that power. Hold that power. Let the power just make you at ease. Relax into it. Relax into that peace. You don't ever have to worry about it anymore. It is done. It is done. And every time you pray, every time you think about your dreams and your goals, don't ask for anything. Just say, thank you. It is already done. Thank you. It is already done. Thank you. It is already done until it comes to pass. So yes, thank you. It is already done. Now we can come back, feeling that peace. And I think we are ready now to begin. We are ready now to begin about legal issues and how we want to comply. How are we feeling?
Fantastic.
I feel like I've already done this. Like, I got it. Yeah.
It is done. It is
Yeah.
done. It is done. Anyone else wants to share? Okay.
I found it very therapeutic, Olale here. It was very refreshing, especially for a Monday morning like this to be, we were waiting to listen to you. Now you've made us start to also think about ourselves and then also go into some kind of a meditation. I found it very therapeutic. Thank you.
Great, great. Susan, how did you feel? Okay, anyone wants to share before we move on to the next part? Okay.
I just want to say thank you for that because it makes it more vivid. Some of these things, you know, people hear about them, but they believe it can't be that easy. But that is it, by the way. That's the way the universe works. That's the way God created things. And all we need is to comply, like you're going to tell us. If we can cooperate with the laws of nature that are there, doors just open, opportunities just open. We don't need to worry about our problems. We need to get excited about where we are going. Thank you very much.
Yes, it's important for us to teach your mind to accept the success first in your mind. Your mind is your biggest holdback. It tells you, aki ni ngumu, oh, unaona Bill Gates, he was rich, he's from America. Now that's the mind telling you how you're a nobody. Wewe uko na hapo chini, weka hapo ungoje your turn. But that's not how God works. That's not how the universe works. The universe will give it to you today, 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 today. That client will just walk in, and then you're like, you're trusting me with this job, Mimi. That's how it happens. And then suddenly you're living your dream. But your mind, you have to teach it, accept my success. So you have to say, thank you, I am already successful. Until your mind thinks, oh, okay, kumbe tuko successful. Oh, okay. Then your mind starts thinking like that. Then you're like, you see things happening. So I just wanted to do that. So Peter, if you could share my screens, I don't know if you've received them.
You should be able to share. I didn't receive. Did you? Yes. You sent them to me?
Yes,
Okay.
I shared.
Okay.
So I want to hear from you what you think about what is compliance, what is legal compliance, what are some of the issues you've encountered so far in terms of compliance for your business? So let me hear what you understand by legal compliance and whether you've had issues so far with legal compliance. Yes, Christine, please go ahead.
Good morning, Power Monday.
Good morning, Christine.
Yes, I do HR consulting. So when it comes to compliance, you'll find that most clients will ask you, are you registered as a professional? That is one. Then they will ask you, do you have a KRA PIN certificate and compliance? Before they can even start talking to you, then is your company registered officially? So these are some of the, who are your other clients you serve? So these are some of the things that you've asked about compliance.
Yeah, so we have issues of regulators. Are you regulated? Are you properly regulated? If you're a HR professional, are you registered with the body for HR professionals? Do you have you complied with taxes and everything? But before, let me even introduce myself. I forgot. So my name is Mwende Startdust, and I am an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. My law firm is called Lex Center LLP, and some of the solutions we offer are contracts, HR policies, wills, and automated services. So if you want to check out, I will share the link. You can be checking out my website. It's called Viber Lawyer, that's the one that's most relevant where you can go ask a lawyer a question and then we get back to you on the go. So I'll be sharing that as we go on. But I am very passionate about business. I have been in business for about, I started in 2016, so that makes it 7 years. And it's been a learning curve. It has been this sharp. So if I can share my own story beginning with compliance is, so I was employed, and then at some point I'm like, you know what, I feel I'm qualified. I'm the OG, I can go out on my own. So I left I resigned. And then I got an office, set up a practice. And then I started doing business. It was a good thing because I got my first client just a few days after I opened shop. So it was amazing. I have rent for next month is good, all that. So it was a good break for me. So I started business, went on it for 1.5 years, 2 years. Guess what? Hey, now I had gone and registered registered the business, yes, and also registered for a PIN. Now, when I was registering the business, it was a sole proprietor. But now, when I went to register for a PIN, I had some corporate clients who are saying, by the way, for you to be in our panel, because lawyers have these things they call panels, where you have to. So if you want to work for KCB, for example, as an external lawyer, you have to be pre-qualified. So for you to be pre-qualified, you must have a VAT, PIN, or you must have insurance. So I was like, I'm after these big guys. I want these big boys. So I went. When I was applying for the VAT, did I bother to go to KRA and find out what I'm supposed to do? No. Nikasema, I'm going to put VAT. So I put the option for VAT. And then I said, my business is making 10 million per year. That time I've only made my first 50K. And I'm already saying how I'm making 10 million. Of course, it was an act of hope and faith. But it also happened to be one of my biggest mistakes, because now to get a VAT, I had to say I am in a partnership with so and so, and then I brought in somebody. So with KRA, I messed up from the word go. So up to today, this is years after I closed the business and started another one. I closed that business same and started afresh. This is like 4 years later. I'm still following KRA. Fungeni your account. Uyo mtu. He's not actually it was a sole proprietorship. I'm having to explain myself many years after, and I'm like, what did I do? So I have learned my lessons as far as compliance goes, because you get an email from KRA, you're like, they don't call you Mwende. Dear Mwende, good morning, how are you? They call you dear defaulter. You're like, you're calling me a defaulter and I'm creating jobs. How dare you? So yeah, I have had a bit of that with my compliance. And the first thing I'm going to start with is registration. So I want to hear in the chat as I go on, please keep telling me how you're registered, what kind of business you do and how you're registered, because there are many ways of registering a business. And the first is you can be a sole proprietor. This means it's just you and you have a business registration certificate. You can also be a partnership. This is especially for regulated professionals, accountants, lawyers, auditors. So this is one of the ways. You can also be a company, limited liability company, which usually is a good option if you want to keep your entity, your company separate from you. A sole proprietorship is just you. So if KRA comes looking for the sole proprietorship, they're literally just looking for your ID and coming to find you. However, if you're a company, they have the registration certificate and they look for the entity itself. So the liabilities of a company are specifically for the company. For a sole proprietor, if your business incurs debt, then that debt becomes your personal debt. Same as partnerships as well, same as limited liability partnerships. So if you have questions as well, keep posting them in the chat as I go. So I hope that's clear, the way you can register. And if you're running a business, I'm sure you've already come through all this. So that's part of regulation, you have to be registered. So what are the benefits of registration? Sometimes if you want to open a bank account, they will ask for, if you want a bank account that shows the business, and a bank account for the business, you'll need the registration certificate, so that's a benefit. If you're looking for a loan, they will want to see how long have you been in business, and how long you've been in business is shown by when did you register the business. So the date of registration shows how long you've been in business, and it builds your credibility with banks when you're looking for loans for the business. Then also it gives a different identity, the way I've said, like a company. It's a way of putting a wall, like a fence between yourself. It's a safety measure if you have a company, because now you're saying my assets are my own and the assets of the business is ours. So if anything with the business, go follow the business. So yeah. Also, like for tendering, it's important, you must have your registration documents. And then it gives you continuity and allows for expansion. So those are some of the benefits of registration. So the question is, who should be registered? Maybe I'm a mamboga pale. Is it a priority for me to be registered? Because registration, of course, comes with obligations. So it's up to you to choose. Do I feel like, where do I want to take this business? Because sometimes, let's say you sell rice from the boot of your car and it's seasonal. It depends on, I was in Shags in Moya in Embu the other day, I got this sacks of rice on the cheap, and I have a couple of friends who love Moya rice. So wacha nikuje nayo, I sell. So in that case, it's up to you to say, do I want to scale this business? Will I be needing a certificate for this kind of business? So that's for you, because registration comes with obligations as well. Yeah. So far, I think so good. Yeah, I see we've registered as private limited liability companies. Silchip International is limited liability company, private company. Yeah, so I see companies are quite popular. All right. I mean, exports, so compliance is global. Yeah. So yes, compliance, you can't run away from it. So you've registered your business. You've done the first step towards compliance. So number 2, it comes to taxation. What comes to mind when you think of tax, KRA? Most people think, like people think it's a menace, but it would surprise you. Sometimes it's an attitude problem, because I can speak for myself and say, I have had an attitude problem and I've had to change it, because I realized, oh, actually, KRA have trainings almost every day. Because you see, tax can be very, it sounds like jargon, Mtu anakuambia VAT or income tax. It just looks like so many words together. So you're like, what is this about? So just to let you know, KRA usually has podcasts and like virtual trainings, the way we are doing now. So feel free, just educate yourself. In your free time, just go to the iTax website. You'll find the podcast. They will tell you about digital tax. They're like, oh, okay. I've been hearing this thing and I need to I need to understand. So find some time to educate yourself about KRA, because these taxes can be many. But what's the most important? I don't know what's the growth rate for your businesses, but you have VAT, which is value added tax for any professional business. Anything that adds value for the customer, it will be taxed as VAT. But something was introduced, turnover tax. Turnover tax was introduced 2 years ago, and it was introduced for the purposes of businesses which are making between 1 million and 50 million shillings, which is like a majority of Kenyan businesses fall in that range. So turnover tax applies, and this one you declare depending on your gross sales, which makes it easier for businesses because it's an annual tax. So this was a relief for most businesses. I hope you're taking advantage of it, but you have to go register. So you have to seek the information first, confirm that you qualify, and then get into that system. So that has made things a little easier. The other thing is that taxes are digitized these days. So that's the VAT and turnover tax. Of course, you need to file your income tax as an individual of the money you're making, and also for your business as well, if you're a partnership. Then remember, after you register your business, you have to file your annual returns. So if you haven't filed your annual returns, remember to get your annual returns done with the company's registry. As well, confirm with your accountant, are they filing your taxes? And are they filing in time? Because one of the biggest challenges is where you're a business owner, you're busy looking for business or looking for permits, doing this and that operations, and then you forget you have taxes. You may have given someone to do your taxes, but you're not sure whether they're filing in time. Key, like this is major key, you must ensure that they're being filed in time, because the most expensive thing in KRA is interest and penalties. So just ensure that you're not incurring penalties and interest from the NINI if your accountant is not filing in time. So other tax obligations include payee. So are you paying payee for your employees? If your employees are earning more than 24,000, then you must register for payee and pay that tax. So ensure those ones, you have to understand these taxes. Even for the employed people, ensure that your taxes are being returned. If you're doing your own returns every month or they're being done by the office, ensure that you're compliant on the VAT. Higher. And then there is the voluntary tax disclosure program, which was introduced in 2020, where SMEs, let's say you had penalties and interest, and you have income that you hadn't declared before, that maybe there was a lapse, you didn't file your returns on time, or they were underdeclared. So KRA has given a waiver where you can declare all your interest mara moja, you pay, and then it gives you a waiver of 100% on penalties and interest. So currently the remission, it was 100%, but 2 years have lapsed. So we are at 50%. So if you have arrears with KRA where you didn't declare properly, this is your chance. You will be given a waiver of 50%. And what I've realized with KRA also, they're not cast on stone. If you go there with a good explanation, with your documents and letters saying, these are our reasons, please give us 100% waiver, they usually do if they see you're serious with your taxes. So yeah, good to know. Any questions so far?
Maybe we can go up to the end, then we pick questions, because we probably will run out of time. We have 13 minutes.
Okay. Sawa, 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 sawa. let me just take this one on the go. What would happen if your employer deducts but does not remit? That's an offense, because it's a tax payable to KRA. They should either pay you for you to now properly declare, or they pay to KRA. So that's an offense. It's one of those things where employees leave and then they become a whistleblower. So it's a dangerous situation for the employer. That's from Lucy. Hiya. So this was on turnover tax, which we've discussed. So yeah, so far, take advantage of voluntary tax disclosure, attend KRA seminars. They are public, they are everywhere. They're very informative. Look for the podcasts. And when you're registering for a PIN, ensure that you select the correct option. Don't declare that you're earning 10 million because now the tax obligation goes to that figure. Declare exactly what you're making. If you're hardly making it, declare that up and your tuko, because now that makes it easier for you. You don't, because if you declare a huge amount, then you will have to file equal returns. Na hauna hiyo pesa, you might not even be able to afford an accountant. So the best thing is enter KRA, sit down with them, or take your time with the website and understand what are my tax obligations before you sign up for them. Hi. So that's on payee. If you need information, I can share this on how payee is deducted and what the figures are. If you have questions, you can ask on the go. So there is NSSF. NSSF is another area of compliance where you're supposed to deduct money from your employers, from the employee's salary, and then you top it up and pay to payee for their retirement. So the Payee Act has been amended lately and the figures have been increased. So usually it used to be 400, but now there has been 2 classifications of top tier and tier 1 and tier 2. But basically the Act says 12% of pensionable income subject to a maximum of 720 if your salary is 6,000 and below. And then subject, if you're earning between a taxable income of 18,000 and above, then the maximum that you should charge is, the maximum that will be deducted will be 2160, which is 6% from the employer and 6% from the employees. The HR professionals here can clarify for us. We are yet to fully understand this one. In fact, a lot of clients are having real difficulties because they're thinking, what is this pensionable income? So HR, you can possibly clarify for us towards the end. But the schedule is here. And people are saying it's a good thing because it's for your retirement. So let's see how that one goes. So far we've covered registration, we've covered taxes, we have covered NSSF deductions. On to licenses. So these ones apply for whichever industry you're in. For lawyers, it's the Law Society. And for those who are in manufacturing, it's KEBS. If you're in the medical, but yes, so the fourth thing you need to be careful about is licensing. Ensure that, I think we can have a separate session where we can go in depth about the licenses for the different industries. The other thing is intellectual property. Do you have a copyright for your brand? Do you have a trademark for your brand? If you have created something new in the market, for example, there's the latest trademark in town is for festive bread. You've seen how it has that sticker at the top where you, instead of having to cut with your teeth to open the bread with your teeth, there's that, it just pulls apart. So that's like one of the latest, it's a new invention in the market. It looks very simple, But those are the simple things, because we have needed how to open bread easily for a long time, but nobody figured it out. So they registered a copyright, a patent on it. So yeah, what have you invented? Be very careful about these new inventions. They could make you a lot of money. So don't limit yourself. Find, if you patent, get a trademark for your brand so nobody copies you. Ensure your website, you've registered your website so nobody can come and trade over you with your name on the website. And for example, if you have created software, if your business is in the software industry, that's a copyright. So get a lawyer to advise you on which one applies. And once you know, for example, copyrights are easy. You just go to the website and it takes less than 2 weeks. So protect your intellectual property. So that's all. I could take questions.
Yes. Antonia, you can read the questions.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you all here. Let me start from reading the question from this one from Edna. You'd like to know, what if you started in June 2021 and have never made any profit? What's the way forward? Which is the deadline? Which office do we go?
Oh, just to confirm, have you already registered for appeal? Because that's the main determinant.
Yes, everything.
Edna, please, you can answer that.
Okay,
Yes,
which class of PIN did you take?
I don't know the classes.
Okay.
I don't know what you mean by classes. I was not informed.
Oh, yeah, they don't
Just PIN
inform you.
certificate, I think so.
It's
Just PIN
usually you
certificate,
who goes to find out. Yeah, go on, Peter.
I think she's just registered for KRA PIN certificate, not VAT.
Aha. You have to confirm, because it all depends on how much income you have declared. And you know, they tell you to declare your income before you've even started business. So you don't know, you're just hopeful that you will make this kind of money. So that, I think it's a lapse on KRA side. They need to give you time to figure out your business first. So yeah, what you need to go find out is, so what income did you select? Because there's a place where you select annual income, and that is how they determine what you're liable for. So go to KRA and find out what tax obligation they have put for you, because what you're supposed to be paying is, if you haven't made an income, it should be below the turnover tax. You see how Mama Mboga is only taxed for the day. Kanjo, they come, they pick 50 bob, they go, because she doesn't make more than, so we can't count her income in millions. So that's how it's supposed to be for your business. If you're yet to make an income, you shouldn't be able to pay any obligation. But what you can do is just go to iTax and check have you been checking your iTax? Because that's another thing. You need to be checking your iTax and filing your returns in the meantime. Because if you don't, the penalties and interest are still in accruing. So go and file nil returns. What you can do is file nil returns. I don't know, do you know how to file returns? Not to click the nil, because they removed the place where you can click on nil and file nil. So you need to find out, download the format, download the returns form and fill nil. So everything, the sale is nil, the purchases is nil, or if you've gone at a loss, you can also indicate that I have gone at a loss at this much. So first thing to do is go to iTax, see what obligations you have, because they normally tell you what's outstanding and everything, and file your returns, put them at nil or negative. If you need guidance on this, you need to get an accountant or someone who knows their way around the system, or you can reach out to me as well. I can guide you through it. So you need to take action immediately. Usually they won't listen that, I wasn't making a profit. They're like, file your returns, then we will know you're not making a profit. That's the first thing to do.
Okay, thank you, Mwende, for that. Thank you for that. I hope, Edda, you've taken notes. Then Paul wants to know whether the turnover tax whether it wasn't blocked by court.
It has actually been active. There was a point that it was blocked, but KRA has still been activating, because now you see they had misguided the public that it's actually happening. So what I know, it was the court order was lifted, but I am yet to check. I can check, but from what I understand so far is that it's still active. But if you have more information, please, you can share so that we also benefit.
Okay, thank you. Then I can combine these two from Edda and Christine. Edda wants to know where to go for copyright, and Christine wants to know how can one change from VAT to turnover tax. So
to change from VAT, there's an application you need to fill. There's a form you need to fill and tell KRA to redirect your VAT into turnover tax. So you need to fill a form. You need to notify KRA that now I want to be taxed under the turnover tax. So it has to come from you. If you don't notify them, then they continue charging you as per VAT.
Copyright, where do we go?
Kekobo, it's actually online. Let me see if I can share the link. I'm sharing the link just now. So the body is called Kekobo.
Okay, and maybe the last one, because I can see time is not on our side, from Morris. Yes. Is thanking you for the good presentation and then asking, please advise on filing returns for consultancy payment for independent persons.
Aha. So usually the challenge is usually the withholding tax. For me, I've had with consultants is that the taxes are being withheld, and then they're wondering what's up with that. So usually it's like a professional service, like lawyers, accountants, etc. So they will charge you have to charge your clients 16% VAT, and then also reflect it in your invoices. Is that what's the particular challenge with that, with your taxes as a consultant?
You can answer that.
Maurice, can you explain?
Okay, thank you. So aside from the withholding tax, like the 5%, last time when I was filing returns, I realized that the tax obligation which I needed to pay was higher than what I was expecting, because I thought that the 5% had sorted out everything. So when I was filing return, I realized that KRA informed me that I have an income which I've not kind of what I've not paid tax. So in addition for the 5% which the client withheld, I had to account for other expenditures like the research assistance I used, the photocopying, other things to reduce the tax obligation. Maybe you can comment on that.
So the tax obligation for professionals, including consultants, is 16%. So deduct 5% from 16%, you remain with 11%. So KRA you're still supposed to pay 11% to KRA. So ukipata pesa yako, just remember 11% of the amount belongs to KRA. Are we together? The next thing, how now to mitigate that? Because it's a lot of money for real. What you need to do is your research assistant, your office, your expenses for the office, stationery, water, etc. Account for every expense and say, even I paid a VAT on the water, or I paid my assistant this, I paid taxes on every service I received. So deduct all that, get an accountant to just teach you how, so that your expenses balance with your tax, so that your expenses exceed 11%. Because usually they do. If you do your expenses very well, you will find that you've actually spent more taxes than you owe. So ensure that your accountant balances your sales versus your expenses, so that when the books go to KRA, they find that, oh no, even whatever he owes us, he has already spent in office expenditure. So, and get an accountant to show you how fast before you start doing it yourself, so that your expenses balance. You're not the one owing to KRA.
Maybe just
can I just comment?
Yes.
Okay, Pius, I give you half a minute. We are out of time.
We are out of time. Yeah, so what is important to mention there, Mwende, is that the 5%, the client who you have consulted for, deduct that money at source. So they deduct that money from the amount that you've agreed, then they submit it directly to KRA. Now, once that has been submitted to KRA, the 5%, then your obligation then is to pay the VAT. Because remember, the VAT is 16%, and the withholding tax is 5%. The other thing that I needed to mention is that at the end of that consultancy period, suppose you did it in 3 months, from January to March, KRA expects you to pay something called installment tax. Now, installment tax means that, for example, if you offered a consultant service of maybe 100,000, the client withheld 5%, then you also charge the client 16%. You need to work out all your expenses, whatever you expense to be able to earn that money. Then you lessen it from the gross amount that you are paying. Then whatever is left, you must subject it to 30%, then declare that and pay to KRA what is KRA calls installment payment. So installment payment is paid thrice in a year, four times in a year, sorry, because first quarter, Q1, January to March, Q2, April to June, Q3, July to September, then the last quarter, October to December. But remember that all this must be paid by 20th of the following month. For example, the first quarter must be paid by 20th April. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Pius Ndunda. Well, I've realized of late we don't have enough time. So I think as Power Monday, we're going to look into that and see, we will work in bringing back the guests that we have had, where we feel that people really have so much, who had so much to say. People had so many questions, but they didn't have time to tackle all the questions. So we're going to look onto that. Otieno Paul Peter. No. Mr. Odhiambo Olale, kindly give a vote of thanks. Odhiambo Olale.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine.
Good morning.
May I, on behalf of the group, thank our dear sister, and we call her Okil Maloka, lawyer, for such a fantastic presentation. Some of us are trying to run away from stressful issues, environment, and we thought Power Monday is a very safe place, but now you brought something that is making some of us, our blood pressure is going up and sugar level. When you talk about 16% VAT, this and that, but that's the reality of life. Even in the Bible, we're told the tax collectors are not the best, they're not the most popular. But in short, you have taught us so much. We have your contact for follow-ups. We're going to follow you up. And thank you so much. And I like your presentation whereby you started by making us wake up even more effectively by asking us questions. What did you decide? What was your what do you call it? What was your year's resolution goal for this year? I think that was really good. And then just when we thought we had gotten away with answering that question, then you asked, what about this week? Thank you so much. That's a very unique presentation, and we thank you. We look forward to another session when we'll now go even deeper into some of those issues. Be blessed, and everybody else do have a blessed day, wherever you are. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Asanteni sana.
much. Thank you so much. We really appreciate. I think you're one of those guests that definitely have to come back again. I see people have a lot to talk about. People have a lot of questions, but we are out of time.